Hello. I wanted to do a video just talking about how yesterday, which is Saturday, I got to be in the same room as Stan Lee, who from Marvel Comics, who was responsible for so much that made Marvel Comics good, and probably is the main reason why Marvel Comics became so big and popular. He created Spider-Man and Thor and Hulk and Iron Man and the X-Men and the Avengers, and he did so much. And yeah, to make, and I think I was reading up about him a little bit before yesterday as well. He, before he came along, like comic book stories were different. Like he made characters more realistic and having like real problems, and a continuity where all the different characters lived in the same universe and stuff. And yeah, so he's responsible for so much that make comics the way it is today and so popular. And yeah, he's so popular. Everyone loves Stan Lee. Like all the people who love like comic book stuff and comic book movies and things like that. And yeah, so I got to be like, I remember looking at the timetable schedule of Oz Comic Con, which is where I went yesterday to see him in Melbourne, and I saw Sean Ma from Firefly. Awesome, that was really good too. But yeah, this video is mainly about Stan Lee, so I'll talk about that. Yeah, and then I saw Stan Lee on there, and I was like, oh, and mainly when I was thinking like, okay, I just have to do it. I have to be in the same room as Stan Lee, so that's my main reason for wanting to see him. Like I wasn't expecting such an awesome speech as well. I knew it would be good, but I didn't know I would love it that much. Yeah, so basically, yeah, like the way it worked, yeah, like I had to get into the convention yesterday, because he was, I didn't know it would be that popular, but I was gonna go with my friend, and they were leaving. They were trying to get there really early, like an hour before it opens, just to make sure they could get in, like because they hadn't bought tickets yet. So I went with them. So I had to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and the thing that got me out of bed wasn't to see Stanley or Sean as much as I just wanted to get there, because I told them like I would be there at 8 with them as well. So, but then thinking back, it was totally worth waking up that early to see those two speakers. And also, as soon as the Sean Ma panel finished, there was a 1 hour break before Stan Lee's one, and I went straight to the line and just waited in line for the Stan Lee panel, because I wanted to get in, and hopefully a good seat too, roughly. But it was tough, because as soon as I got there was already people there, but it's okay. So I stood there waiting, and it was totally worth it. We went in, and it actually started a little bit after, like I think it was supposed to start at 2 o'clock, and it started like maybe about 2:20 or 2:25. And the way I feel, that I'm just gonna assume that the reason that happened was because maybe when Stan Lee was signing autographs, he was probably chatting to people too long. Like I get the impression that he's really friendly and talkative, and with fans and things like that. So yeah, so that's my impression of why it started a bit later, but it was awesome. Yeah, hearing him talk was so good. He's such a good storyteller in a way. Like the way he talks, it sounds like someone's telling you, you know what I mean, like a old-fashioned storyteller. He's so funny as well, like really funny, humorous. Not like some people who are just too serious. Like he makes fun of himself. He's humble, and because he's had such a long and great career. Like he's got so many good stories to talk about that you really want to hear. I can't say enough good things about it. Yeah. It was just sad that it had to end. Like at the end of it, I was, I could have kept listening to him talk, like really. What else? My favorite thing that he talked about was Spider-Man, how he came up with the idea for Spider-Man. I thought that was really interesting to hear. I might as well say it here, just in case anyone wants to know. And he tells it way better. But basically, he already created the Hulk, Iron Man, and Thor, and things like that. And his boss told him, oh, can you make another one? You're on a roll. So he went home, and he started thinking about it. He was in his kitchen, and then he saw this fly on the wall, and the fly was crawling on the wall, and yeah, and then he was thinking to himself, how cool would it be if you could walk on the wall like an insect? And so he thought, okay, fly man, I'll call it fly man. But he was like, oh, that doesn't sound that great. Doesn't sound really good at all. And then he thought, insect man. No, didn't like that either. And then it came to him, Spider Man, and he thought, ooh, that sounds really good. Like, Spider Man sounds like dark and creepy and scary kind of thing as well. So he thought that sounded really good. And then he thought else like, why are sidekicks always teenagers? Why are the teenagers always sidekicks? Like, he goes, if I was a superhero, why would I be hanging out with a teenager and things like that? He questioned that, and he thought, why can't the hero be the teenager for once? You know, so he thought, okay, let's make this Spider-Man a teenager. And then he thought, instead of making the teenager like a perfect, you know, model person and stuff, why can't he have problems, you know, like that a lot of people have, like maybe he hasn't got a lot of money, he has to work real hard for his money, and he's not good with girls, things like that, all sorts of things, all these issues that he's got. Yeah, and then he thought, oh, this sounds really good. He got really excited, and he went to his boss the next day or whatever and said, I've got this idea. And his boss was like, that's the dumbest idea ever. We're not going to do it. Like, first of all, people don't want to read about people who have problems, you know, like they want, like, you know, really probably perfect people, you know, read about that. And you know, people aren't spiders, this is dumb. And then so they canned the idea. And then I think a few months later, there was a comic book that was ending or something like that, like getting axed and cancelled. And he goes, Stan Lee goes, when something gets cancelled like that, nobody really cares too much about it. So he goes, and he's been wanting to get this story out of him, you know, just it's been sitting there like the Spider-Man. And so he got a few pages made, like drawn or made of it, and put in the back of the comic book that was getting cancelled, just a few back pages of it, just about the Spider-Man. And then that issue sold heaps, and then his boss was like, well, remember that idea that you and I had ages ago about Spider-Man? It's a really good idea, and we should make that into a comic. So that's how Spider-Man came about. Like, the idea got rejected, and later on, yeah, that's how it did. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, so that's that. And yeah, so I think I'll finish up the videos, but Stan Lee, and he's really inspiring too. I love how he loves his characters so much. Like, I mean, to him, he really likes them. Like, I think someone asked him, does he like the Marvel movies that they make, and he goes, yeah, he loves them. And yes, he even likes the movies that other people don't really like that much, like critics and fans, maybe like Daredevil even, and things like that. He goes, because, you know, it's his characters, you know, he loves his characters. And someone asked him to pick his favourite character or something like that, and he just couldn't do it. He goes, he loves them all. So just hearing things like that, it's really, really cool. I really like him a lot. And I like him more now because of that, listening to him talk and stuff. So I'm so glad I got the chance to hear him talk, you know, because yeah, he's such a great guy.